Alright, what's up guys? I got a pretty standard domination game today, and this commentary is actually happening directly after my AUG commentary. I know that I said that I was going to commentate a bunch of the gameplays I had stockpiled, and this is one of the ones that I figured I'd get out of the way because it's pretty exciting gameplay in general. And I figured it was exciting enough where I didn't really need to talk about the gameplay because I'm using the AK-74U, and you all know that AK-74U with grip is easy mode. So nothing really nothing really novel to talk about here. Just your standard rush them to their spawn, be a bad team player, flip the spawn kind of gameplay. I normally don't play like this, but this team, we had this game under wraps and we weren't really worried about losing. So before you say, "Oh man, look at you rushing spawn," I'm pretty well aware of how far you can go without actually flipping the spawn. So you can just save your troll comments, save your breath, because I am usually always focused on winning, and we do win this game very easily. And so anyways, what I wanted to talk about today wasn't really gameplay related. I actually did this commentary once before back about, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to not do it. I just felt like I wasn't ready to do it yet. But what I wanted to talk about was staying positive when things are negative. Because it seems like more than ever on YouTube in general, there's just so much negativity. And that just has always really bothered me. People just, I know that the people can be anonymous on the internet, and that leads to, the comments being always super negative, super nitpicky, super this, that, and the other thing. Everybody's a troll on the internet, it just seems like. But it has gotten to so far that other other commentators are even being super negative. It just seems like they don't want anybody new to come on the scene. It seems like they're not looking to help anybody. They're just out to make money basically, and that's what YouTube has become. It's basically become this monetary system of, I guess you would say, work, but I don't know. Like I said, this is a hobby for me, so I can't really fathom the fact that you would get paid to play video games and be sour about it. Even if you get trolled, even if you get insulted, even if all that thing, even if that all happens to you, you're still getting paid to do something that I wouldn't say was difficult. And it just seems like a lot of times the bigger commentators have forgotten that, and they're just so negative about everything. They complain about the game, and I mean, I guess I would complain about it. I complain about Black Ops my fair share, but I don't know. I guess if you played it enough, you would get tired of it to where you'd want to complain about it. But when you have a channel that's going on your own, you could probably play freaking well, here's a good example. You could play Geometry Wars and put out a video and get 10,000 views. So but I want to kind of talk about my experiences with staying positive, because I just don't like the direction of the whole community. So my experiences with staying positive when things are super negative go back to about a year ago today. So what happened a year ago today to me? You're probably wondering. Well, a year ago today, I graduated college, and you're like, well, that's a good thing, right? Well, yeah, it was a good thing. I was glad to get it done. I actually ended up going an extra semester and got some, grad school requirements out of the way. But I also graduated in the worst possible time for a graduate to come into the job market. That is because there was no jobs to be had. So probably between December of last year and I would say April, early June, I had applied to over 400 jobs. And it was a weird transition because searching for a job out of college isn't like looking for your typical part-time job. You're actually looking for something as a career. Now, you're not always going to take like the best, you're not always going to get your dream job, but you're going to take something that you consider viable to support you, because you're not going to get, mommy and daddy aren't going to pay for your stuff anymore. You're going to be on your own. As well, that's how I wanted to be. I mean, some people stay at home a lot longer to pay off bills, but I started my search, and it was rough. I have had my fair share of interviews during that period, and it just seemed like nothing ever worked out. Mainly because people were more companies, I should say, not just people. Companies were more focused on hiring someone that was more experienced and they could pay the same wage as say me, a college student, or they could, there was just so many people out there looking for jobs, and so few jobs to be filled that they basically could pick anybody they want. They could pick top of the line and pay them less because they know that people will take less because there's less jobs to be had. So it was kind of like about, it was kind of almost like the stock market, and the jobs were the stocks. The jobs were in demand, and it was basically a buyer's market for the employers, so they could hire the cream of the crop for the same price as they could hire this college kid. So there's really no point in taking a risk on hiring a college graduate. So it was increasingly difficult time in my life. Even now it continues on because it's just employers aren't really looking to hire, even for part-time work. If they see that you have a four-year degree, that often will ring a bell. They'll often be like, well, why do you want a job here? Are you not, they'll think that you're like a bad employee maybe, or they'll think that they have to pay you more, and they're like, well, we can't hire this guy. He's going to want, $10 an hour instead of minimum wage, which might be $8.75. Well, we can't do that. Heaven forbid, pay this guy more because he's actually gotten an education. And another thing is they often looked at that and saw, well, this guy, if we hire him, he could be gone as soon as he finds a new job. So like by the next week, he could be moving on to, working at, I don't know, what's a good example? Working on the stock market. We'll just say that. He gets a job with Edward Jones, and he's going to leave his minimum wage job with Taco Bell. So there's no point in hiring this kid if he's just going to leave. Or we could hire somebody who we know will probably stay longer. So that was kind of the issues that I was dealing with, and it was really, really hard to accept that after spending so much time and money to get your degree that nobody really wanted you. It doesn't really get much more personal than job applications, because they're judging you based on whether they like you or not. And when you go into the job and you find out that you didn't get it, obviously it's hard to take that something that is going to determine you as a person for at least a short time in your life is something you can't have. So I had to deal with rejection a lot. And I don't know if that's made me pretty thick-skinned, because I don't know about you guys, but the first interview after college is rough. And the first interview I had, I didn't do poorly in, because I consider myself pretty articulate. I know I fumble my words sometimes. That's because I'm just doing this off the top of my head. But the first interview is rough, and that first rejection is probably some of the worst rejection you'll get, because it's hard to pick up the phone and hear them tell you that, yeah, well, you weren't good enough, is basically what it boils down to. And so I guess that kind of gave me thick skin, and that's probably why I've been able to handle the negative aspects of YouTube better than some people might be able to. I don't know. I don't really know if there's a correlation there or not. I personally feel like it's helped me, because at this point in my life, I don't know. It does not a whole lot can phase me, because it's been a rough period. It's been really hard financially to operate, because it's increasingly difficult because you have to pay your student loans, obviously, if you have student loans. My family growing up wasn't very well off, so I had to take out loans to go to college. And so once you graduate college, you have to pay those loans. They'll give you a grace period of about, I think it was 6 months. So I got about 6 months to get my feet wet. And when I first graduated, I was like, yeah, that'll be more than enough. I can figure out what I'm going to do by that period of time. 6 months, sure, I'll have a job by then. But then I found out that I had to start paying my loans, and it just spiraled on from there. But yeah, it's been a difficult time, but I guess things are kind of better. I've kind of got my finances under control to where I can afford to just do odd jobs to make ends meet. But anyways, this commentary is over. I appreciate it if you listen to it the entire way. This is just kind of my rambling. But I guess I will see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you thought I was stupid and deserved what's happened to me, give me a thumbs down, because it probably won't faze me. Like I said, I got a pretty thick skin. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.